What's up, y'all? We back in the shop. We got this beautiful 96 Impala here. Another DCM, man. It must be the month of DCMs because I've been getting all DCMs. Well, I got a black one right there, but this one's pretty simple. Gentleman that follows me on YouTube, local to the Atlanta area, reached out to me. Pretty simple job, kind of like the last one. I'm not sure where in the sequence this video will fall. Shout out to my boy Torian. He bought me a bigger memory card, so I've been able to just save clips. So before, what I was doing was, if I recorded something, I would record everything, upload it to the computer, and erase the memory card and move on. But then my computer started getting full, so I had to just erase videos. So now I've been able to save some. So I got a couple videos saved on the card, and I'm waiting for some other things to finish them. So I haven't, I'm not sure when this one will come out. But we did a brake job on the 96 Black Impala out there, and we got some special wheels going on that. So that's what I'm waiting for. The customer bring the wheels so I can show you guys the wheels mounted up and the before and after. But we did the power stop kit, so we've been doing the power stop kit on this car, as well as steel braid upgrading to the steel braided brake lines and the bolt for the stealth bolt for the proportioning valve. When he dropped the car off, we were just talking about it and looking at a couple things, and he mentioned to me that the steering wheel was loose, and this is pretty bad. So I kind of already know what the problem is. I've done enough steering wheels on these cars, and I'm pretty certain I know what it is. I can see that they didn't take off the airbag module thing and didn't shave the inside of this, allowing it to sit all the way down. So I'm pretty positive that's what the problem is. But I figure I'm actually waiting for another client to pull up. I figure while we're waiting, we'll just go ahead and get this knocked out and see if we can fix it for him. Because this is no good. He said actually at one point the steering wheel popped all the way off, so can't have that. So let me go grab some tools, take these off, get this out, and we'll see what's going on in this thing and try to get it fixed for him. All right, so got the horn off, and I mean, look at that. That nut holds the steering wheel in, and it's not even hand tight. Like, it's completely loose. So yeah, that's a problem. So pretty sure I know what the problem is. So we're gonna get all this stuff disconnected, get the horn off, get the steering wheel off, get the adapter off, so we can access the inner part of the steering column, so I can show you guys what we got to do to fix this. So I mean, basically basic steering wheel install. If you've never done one on one of these B bodies, it's not, I guess, I don't know, because I've only done them on the B bodies. I've actually not put a steering wheel in any other type of car. No, I did a Cutlass once, but the Cutlass doesn't have the airbag thing in the steering wheel. So guess if you don't know, you don't know, but we're gonna get them right. Yep, so just as I suspected, they did not remove the airbag module. And you have to take this out in order for the steering wheel to sit flush and be tight. It doesn't look like they messed up the threads, so that's good. So this thing's a little tricky to get out. I actually hate taking this thing out, but it's part of the game. There's a snap ring in there. Got to get yourself a good set of snap ring pliers to get it out. Sometimes I get them right out. Like, sometimes I fight with them for 45 minutes. So we'll see how this one goes. I'll put it on a time lapse, and depending on how long that time lapse is, we'll see how long it takes me to get this out. So let me go grab my snap ring pliers. I actually invested in a good set, so for this particular job, because I really don't use them for anything else. Oh, and U-joints, but mainly for this, because it's so tight in there, you don't have a lot of wiggle room and stuff. So we'll get this out, and then we need to tighten up the adapter to this, because even here, this thing isn't even tight on here. So we want to get rid of as much play as possible in the steering wheel, because that's the last thing you want while you're driving, is your steering wheel to be flopping all over the place. So let me grab snap ring pliers. Well, that took all of 2 seconds. So got the snap ring out. These are the snap ring pliers that I use, some Craftsman's. So with these, you can make them where they open it up when you press it, open it up, or you can change it and now they close when you press it. So these are actually really useful. I like them. like them a lot. So they work perfectly, and you just get the right tips. And that's it. So now this should just slide right off. And that's it. So now that this is off, we can put everything back together. And actually we need to pull the airbag wire through because they just cut it and got it just hanging out in there. And actually that's why his turn signal thing is messing up, because the, look, see that? Yeah. It's giving it an issue about clicking because the existing airbag wires in there. So see how one little thing, them not removing that, caused just a slew of problems. But no problem. Not a problem for me. We're gonna fix it. So we got to pull the airbag wire out through the bottom, and there's normally a resistor you got to put on there. I put a link to the other video I made about doing this, but I also put a link to the resistor. I don't have any right now, so I did tell him that his airbag light might be on. It's not on now, which is surprising, but unless they took the cluster out and took the bulb out. But either way, I did let him know that possibly when I do this, the airbag light will be on. So let me pull this wire out, and then we'll reassemble the steering wheel, and then we'll move on to the brakes. All right, I'd actually started putting it back together, but I forgot you got to shave just a little bit off these ridges. I don't think it's too bad on this steering wheel because this one kind of sits over it. But with like your like Forgiato wheels, even the SD forged, any of those like custom steering wheels to match the wheels, normally it sits in and you have to clearance this right here. So I necessarily don't have to do it on this particular car, but I am, just in case in the future he decides to change the steering wheel and I don't do it. Somebody else can, if they don't know about this, they probably wouldn't do it. But if it's already done, then it'll all go back together pretty easily. So pretty simple, just get a Dremel and just clearance that, and then we'll put it all back together again, because I had actually already started putting it together, but I forgot I had to clearance that, and then the little piece for the horn popped out, and it's a pain trying to get it down this deep collar. So let me clearance this, and then we'll put it back together again. All right, so found another problem. So I guess this collar is the wrong size, because I mean the steering wheel is nice and tight now, however it's too tight. So it's kind of sunk. When I tighten it all the way down, it kind of went inside of the steering column. So now it's like super tight. So I got to pull it back out and maybe either clearance the little collar here, or remove it, or I don't know yet. But it's like way too tight, like incredibly tight. Let's see, I'll show you what I mean. See, so car's on, and it's tight. So yeah, we don't want that. And it looks like they did remove the airbag light, because this will tell you what lights are on and which ones are off. So there's no airbag light lighting up, so it means they took the bulb out. So it is on, but because the bulb is gone, you can't see it. So a little bit more work, but let's figure this out, because I see why they left it so loose. Because if they tightened it, they would have ran into the same problem I did. So they left it super loose, but that's dangerous, man. You don't want that driving down the freeway, all of a sudden the steering wheel flies off. Like, what are you gonna do? So let's fight with it, see what we can do. All right, so I think I figured out the problem. So this goes here like this, and looks like right now it should fit, like it shouldn't be a problem, but it looks like this little cup has like a little lip right here. Yeah, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but what I'm probably gonna have to do is Dremel down this lip. Like I already started a little bit right here. What I'm gonna probably have to do is cut this down flush so that it'll fit in here. So I'll take it out the car, and this is gonna take a while. So I'm gonna have to grind this down, hit it back with some paint so it doesn't look crazy. and try to get rid of this lip so it's flush. And I think once that happens, it'll allow it to sit inside of here. Or I could just, maybe I'm missing, maybe I'm not dremeling off enough right here. Maybe it's just still just enough to cause an issue up there. Maybe that's the problem. Well, I'll do that first. I'll dremel out the rest of this. Oh, sorry. Dremel out the rest of this, and then if that still doesn't work, we'll have to modify this somehow. So let's get it. Let's see. I'll show you guys. I can do this with one hand. Alright, so that should be just enough to, because then it doesn't have to go down far. So let's see if that did the trick. No. So it's still kind of riding on this lip right here. So yeah, we're gonna have to trim this piece, try to get this little lip off so this will sit inside of the column. Or I could put a big washer on here and just have it sit right on the outside. Maybe I can do that. Yeah, maybe I'll put a washer on it and that'll space it out a little bit, enough to where this just sits right on the outside right here instead of trying to go inside. Yeah, let's try that. All right, so I found this one. It's pretty thick, so I think it's not like the perfect size, but as long as it's not obstructing any of these holes, I think we should be okay. And I think it actually will do the trick for what we need. So I think actually that may be perfect. We'll just have to put it back together and see. I mean, it still rubs a little bit, but again, it's not all the way. We'll see. I gotta put it together and see what it does. So let's see. All right, success. I had to tape this up because it kept grounding out and honking the horn, but we got, I had to put some washers on 2 of those bolts because since we put the spacer on it, it was like barely not long enough, and I felt like it was gonna strip. So I got some longer, see this bolt's different, so I got a longer bolt over there, and I actually had to cut it because it was like this long, but I got it in there. So now the movement you're seeing is from the column itself, but she's sturdy now, and now it's loose like it should be. So whew, that was a job. But sometimes what you got to do when you got to fix somebody else's mess up. But she's good now, so go ahead and put the horn and stuff back together, and we'll call this part done, and then we'll move on to the brakes, and then we got to figure out why his backup camera isn't working. I think this is the car. Yeah, I think it's because I got another car behind me that I think also had a backup camera problem. But I think this one, no, I think this one works. I don't know. I'll investigate it, but I know for sure the steering wheel, I mean, even when he brought it in and I felt it, I was like, man, no, this is not right. This should not be like this. So it's good to go now. So we'll get the horn put back on and move on to the brakes. Glare off of there. All right, so she's all back together. She's sturdy. I don't know why they made him buy this longer column, because they didn't know what they were doing. So now like the steering wheel's like close up, but I mean it's fine now. I mean if he wants to swap it later, we can. All right, let's see about this backup camera. Oh, this is the one that had the shifter issue. There we go. Okay, yeah, I think this is the one with the backup camera problem. Okay. So we'll have to investigate that, see why the backup camera's not working. All right, but for now, steering wheel's good. So we'll check that off the list and move on to the next thing. So, and actually he didn't even bring it in for that. That was just something I noticed when he dropped the car off. I was like, man, your steering wheel's super loose. And so we got it fixed.